further ado, I hand it over to Rabbi Danielle.
Thanks, Ben. I want to just let you all know that Clearwater municipality finally did close the beaches. So if you've been watching us on national news, you can rest assured that our local government has taken some measures to keep social distancing in place. I want to thank MyJewishLearning.com for hosting this platform for us to say Kaddish. My father died in November, and so I'm saying Kaddish for him, and I dedicate this teaching to his memory and to the memory of all of you, for the people who are remembering somebody today. So I want to share with you a teaching from this week's Torah portion from the beginning of Vayakel. So we have there in Vayakel, it says in Hebrew, Vayakel Moshe et kol adat b'nei Yisrael, vayomer alehem, Ele hadvarim asher tziva Adonai la'asot otam. So the translation is, Moses then convoked or brought together the whole Israelite community and said to them, these are the things that God has commanded to you. So let's just take a look at the face value of this text is about bringing all of the Israelites together, men, women, everybody. And it's really interesting as you read through the Parsha that there is particular attention to the role of women in contributing to the work here, which is the building of the Mishkan. The Mishkan is the sacred abode where God would dwell when the Israelites were encamped in the wilderness. And so the text goes on to say that everyone who was called Nadiv Libo, everyone who was generous of heart, would be invited to participate in the building of the Mishkan with their talent, with their resources, with their skills, with their time, anything that they felt like they can devote to the building of the Mishkan, that was welcome. And we can read this text a little differently for our own situation. What's going on with us? Each of us here is now building a sacred structure. The sacred structure that is the containment of a virus in order to dispel that virus. And in order to dispel the virus, it is going to take everybody's time and talent, everybody's resources, especially scientists, right, medical professionals, but also every single person, not just in this society, not just in the United States, but everywhere. Everybody, Kol Nadiv Libo, who is so generous of heart, is asked to do what they can do to create this sacred abode of health, of wellness, and of dispelling the virulent nature of this virus. And so there's a teaching from a Hasidic Rabbi, which is really beautiful, that I think speaks to this. And it's from Rabbi Shimon Marilis of Yaroslav. And he was one of the leading students of Rabbi Elimelech of Lizinj. He was the Chozeh of Lublin. And this is what he says. That Moses brought together the whole of the children of Israel and said to them, these are the things. That is, things like this gathering for teaching Torah and building consciousness of God with one heart and one intention. That God has commanded you to do. That is what God has commanded you to do, the Rebbe is saying. To come together with one heart and one intention to build a consciousness of God. This is like an incredible idea. That we're building a consciousness together, if we want to apply this now to the situation we're in, that we're building a consciousness together of the right thing to do. Even though it's hard. It's hard to stay at home. It's hard to sequester ourselves. And especially if you have families, it's even harder. When you have little kids who want to do all kinds of things and we have to say, we can't. or society is telling us you can't go to these places anyway because they're closed. We have to bring ourselves into an intentional consciousness of what we're doing is so sacred and so holy that it's like building the Mishkan. To build a sacred space of health and wellness, you might even say that's even greater than building the Mishkan, because we're saving lives. So my blessing for us as we go into Shabbos, in thinking about this text of Vayakel, of gathering, God says, gather all the people of Israel, is for us to be intentional about thinking about all these different ways in which we are able to gather. Right? We can't gather face-to-face in person, but we're gathering in our open hearts. We're gathering in our ability to generously donate our resources of time and talent to each other for the betterment of society. This is a whole new horizon for us. And so my blessing is that we take it as generous as we could be, to open our hearts to be kol nadiv libo, to gather with our greatest strength, with our greatest sense that what we're doing is holy, that what we're doing is God's work. May each and every one of you be blessed in your endeavors to build this Mishkan of health and wellness and of saving lives. So at this time, we'll join together for the words of the Kaddish, of Mourner's Kaddish. And so I'm going to stand up, and I invite you to stand as well if you would like. And we'll say the Kaddish together.
And then everybody goes at different speed.
Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Be'amad, Yirak, Yamite, B'chayot,
Yom Ekon Yedekol Beit Israel Zman Karim Amen.
Rabba, Mevorach, Yishtabach,
Ar Yetalel Shmei Kudesha Brekhu Mikol Bekata Shirata Bekata Nekata Miran Be'ama Bihru Shama Rabba Ben Shemaya Im Aleinu Israel Amen.
Say
Shalom. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank
Thank you for joining in. Stay well, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Rabbi Upbin, for leading us today. We will be back here tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for our final one of this week. We hope to see you all then. Thank you.
Interesting.